I just had a request for this tune, Rises the Moon by Liana Flores. I had never heard this before. I think it's a pretty cool jazzy track. I think you guys will enjoy this. So thanks again for that request. So I did have to kind of rearrange it to fit it on here. So the chords are going to sound a little higher than they do in the original because we don't have those bass strings. But we're going to start out with something like this. So we have those chords there. So it's like 8 on the big one and then 6, 9, 9. And if you can't get all those, you could just try to get the 2 9s up there with the 8. So it's like 8. And then we're going to switch to 8 and 9 on the bottom there. Okay, so it's 8 with 9s. And then 8 with 8, 9. And if you can fit it in there, put in a 6th fret on the G string. So it'd be 8 and then 6, 9, 9. 8 the same. And then the 8 with the 6, 8, 9. So those chords happen the most of any chords in the tune. So once again, let's look at that. And this is in 6, 8. So it's like, I give you like a quick 3 count, like the last 3 of the 6. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then after those first couple chords happen, we have this little riff. Okay, so this part is 5. We have 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, 6, 4, 6 on the second string, back to the 5 we started with. And it sounds like. So we have that 6 beat thing, right? So we have like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 1. So the first one goes 1, 2 beats, and then we start going faster. Okay, then we're back into these chords. Now this time we have to switch to the 6 here in the G string and move it out of the way to get the 4, 6 over here. And we're gonna go. So bass, chord, chord, and then another chord and hold that one. Then we're gonna switch to this 4 over here with 6s on the bottom. And then we have this diminished chord, 4, 5, 4, 5. We're gonna go bass, chord, chord, chord. So from the verse, after that riff we did, it's gonna be. Then we switch to the, and then. Back to the beginning. And then the second verse will start with the same stuff. The 6 with the 4, 6, and then the 4 with the 6s below, another diminished, bass, chord, chord twice, and then we're going to have this 6 to the 6s, but we're going to do the 6s, we're going to start with the G string 6 and then go to the 3 big 6s, and the reason for that is because we have a chord change. We go to the 7 on the big string. So we have that 3rd string, 6, and then 7, 6, 6 twice. And then we're back to this one. And then we're back to this one. And this one. We'll hit the diminished. So it was the full chord, and then 4, 5, 4, high part of the chord, back to the 4. So, and then we have 5 to the bottom strings there. So we got. Okay, it's a little tricky on that one. Then we're gonna have a 6 to a 3, 6, and then the 6 to the 4, 6, and then our regular 4, 6s. Diminished again. Back to the beginning chords. We have that riff. Okay, and then we're going to start back in with these chords again. And then the 6 with 4, 6. 4 and 6s again. Okay, and here's a great little finger picking part. This is part of the reason I chose to go ahead and do this song as well. Really cool stuff going on here. We got 6, 6, and 8 down here. We're gonna go. So it's 6, 6, 8, 6, 8, 6. And then we're gonna do the same picking, but we're gonna take the 8 out of there. So it's, okay, so. Now we're gonna switch to 6, 6, 5. Back to the 6s. Back to the 6 with 8. 6s. Now this time we're gonna have a 7 on the bottom. And then a 9 on the bottom. Okay, so let's look at all that there. We got 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're coming up to 11, 11, and 13. And then 11s. That one has kind of a little pause at the end of it. Then we're back to the 6, 6, 8. 6s. And this one goes to the 9. And it kind of holds that for a while. Then we have a little pickup on that 9 at the very end. Back to this one. 6s. This one goes 7s twice. So that was a little different. And then we're back up here. Stay on the 11s. Back to 6s and 8. 7. Twice. Back up high. And then we hit this chord 11, 10, 11. Then we go second string, first, and back. And then we're going to have, that's 11, 10, and 9. And then we're back to our original chords. Now this time we're going to go. So that one was 8, 6, 7. So we moved the little moving note in that one down, an extra one this time, and a 9 on top. So that's 8, 6, 7, 9. And with the 6, 6, 8. Okay, so that was Rises the Moon by Liana Flores. Let's take a look at some of that again. So we had our intro, we had, and then we had this. So let's look at that again. We got 2 beats on this 5, 5, 3, 5, 6, 3, 5, 6, 4, 6, 5. So that's a great little riff there. And then there's going to be tabs for this whole thing, so I hope you enjoy that. Thanks a lot for the request. That's a great tune. We'll talk to y'all soon.